And we're back with some more oxygen not included on Minibase. I've been having a bit of a think about this in the background and, okay, reading through a lot of the comments. And yeah, maybe I have too many dupes already. People were advising me hiring dupes on this map is suicide. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say I'll be fine, probably. Judging by the amount of water we get, we should be okay, though. Yeah, I'll have to come back to the math on that later. That's going to get interesting. First things first, though, we need an alternative source of oxygen, which means we need to switch over to electrolyzers. But if we want to use electrolyzers, we're going to need some way of disposing of the heat. And of course, you can use, where is it? Those, oh, there's some research you can do that gives you icy fans or something. They're terrible. We need plastic so that we can get steam turbines. So we need a Dreco ranch, but we don't want to spend too much space. So I'm thinking we're going to install a little plastic Dreco ranch over here. The biggest problem we are going to face on this map is space. Normally I would just throw down lots of ranches to solve food problems, but each hatch requires 12 units of space to exist. 12 units of space. I don't have space for that. Crops are much smaller and more compact. I may have to use crops, but they require water, and we have a limited supply of that, and I need somewhere to store it all. To store this in between dormancy, there was some calculations done by a friendly commenter. Also, I grabbed out the calculator myself. Yeah, it's about 70, I think it was 77 tons. 76, 77 tons of water. As in, this is about 3.2 kilos of water per second this gives off. And assuming I'm using all of that water per second and storing the rest for the dormancy period, if I wish to consume 3.2 kilos of water per second constantly all the time during active and dormancy period, during the leading up to the dormancy period, I'd have to store 72 tons of the stuff. That's 72 tiles of water. Now, that would take 72 tiles of water, but I could, double up with some liquid tanks. Well, we'll worry about all that later. For now, plastic. Let's see what this has to offer. Ooh, sand. There is no sand on this map, as in no filtration medium, but a snazzy suit is always nice. And calories, can't go wrong with calories. And a mouth breather, no thank you. You know what? Ooh, this is just... No, I'll take the snazzy suit. It'll be a long time before we get one. I'm just going to take it. The sand was probably the right choice, but I'm lazy. Oh, damn it. How did you get in there? You know what? We can wrangle you out of there. And once we do, we can start putting together our little micro-plastic ranch. All right, I made this maybe a tiny bit too small. We want to make it, though, as small as possible. The reason being, we don't want to waste space. I'm going to use this in here to dump plastic Drecos, or, well, any Drecos, and, food shortage. No, we got meal ice coming in. We've got enough meal ice, it's just we're still low enough on calories that it's still problematic. But yeah, we're going to dump plastic Drecos in here and, sort of starvation farm them for their hides. This here is going to be our microplastic Dreco ranch. Oh, I'm going to need food in here as well, aren't I? What do you think about this? Yep, we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that and we'll put in some mealwood plants there. Well, once we have the seeds available. We've almost maxed out our farm down here, so hopefully our calories should start going up at last. Then we can put in a couple of mealwood plants there, and we'll have our Drecos use those. Actually, what are we looking like on dirt? 82 tons of dirt. All right, we have plenty of dirt to start, so we're fine on that front. Now, you'll notice I'm switching to 3 tile-high floors. That's because I've realized my mistake. Space, crucially important here, so I need to take absolute maximum advantage of it. Plan will be we keep our Drecos on this floor, and while the still food shortage. Drecos stay on this floor and they get groomed. We'll only keep 2 in here. That's going to be the maximum size of this ranch. All the eggs will get dumped up here into the shearing station. They'll hatch and then we'll shear them. There's going to be a little bit of manual dropping off to start before we get our hands on automation. Research-wise, in the background I hammered out automation wires because I had forgotten those and I'm going to need those for the smart batteries. And I also grabbed the electrolyzer so we can electrolyze water. It should become more obvious in a bit why we're doing that. And then, we're getting carbon skimmers because we're going to need carbon skimmers to go with the water sieves so we can get rid of any carbon dioxide buildup. At the moment, it shouldn't be too bad. How are we looking on gases? It's fine. It's all around the oxyferns. They'll eat some of it. Okay, let's just skip this forward a bit until we're ready to activate our Dreco ranch. How did you get in there? I don't want any shine bugs in here. Get out of here. I'll disable this. I don't want to actually tame that. That can go wild for a while. We have no use for shine bugs just yet. Hopefully once it flies out of there, we can close the door and get around to actually ranching some Drecos. For the time being, we're bringing some power up here. One thing you'll notice, though, is how are we going to get these to refresh? Well, for that, we're going to need hydrogen, which is why we're going to build an electrolyzer down here. Yes, we're going to build an electrolyzer just raw out in the open. It will be warm, and it's going to be near our crops, which is probably not my smartest plan. But this will allow us to dump some hydrogen in here to hopefully get our shearings more reliably. course, we're going to need to put in power and water and a few other things, but, you know, all in a day's work. Electrolyzer in, hooked up to the power grid, if I've done this correctly. And, yep, we should have water flowing just about now, which is going to eat into our power supply, but it's okay. We're all running on muscle power. What have we got available to us? I think gold amalgam it's got to be. Granite, I think we're good for. Though on the raw mineral front, sandstone, sedimentary rock, granite, and fossil, there's no obsidian on this map. It's going to be a bit odd. I'm used to having a bunch of that lying around the place. But never mind. Well, we'll deconstruct that. This has slowly started now pumping out hydrogen. Now that hydrogen should float to the top. Oh, I've done that badly. Let's maybe deconstruct a couple of tiles here to give that gas a little better airflow. In fact, maybe just get the research for airflow tiles. We finished decontamination. Perfect. Where is airflow tiles? I can never remember. Oh, wait, no. We already have airflow tiles. That's fine. We can replace these with airflow tiles, and it should make it much easier for that hydrogen to float up there. Done. Hydrogen will flow up to the top. We just need to put in some Drecos down here, get the excess and wrangle them up there. And once they're up there, they can get sheared. And because they'll be in a hydrogen environment, their coats will keep regrowing. And hopefully our people won't have too much of a walk to get to the machine because they'll have to hold their breath while they're shearing. That's going to be interesting. Though we still need one mealwood seed just so that we can fill that farm tile. You know what? I will dig one up. Who is the youngest? All right. Once that's in there, we should be able to start. We'll wrangle in the Drecos we've got lying around the place. What are you, 92? Well, beggars can't be choosers, and I'm pretty sure there's only 2 Drecos on the entire map. So, yes, we are definitely beggars. Though, is there any Dreco eggs lying around? Oh, there's a Dreclet egg. Time to test out our little policy. What we'll do is we'll grab all the critter eggs. And we'll have that so... Oh, actually, maybe don't have that so that sweep allowed. We don't want to take all the eggs just yet. We just want the Drecos. Right, Dreclet eggs are going to get swept. We sweep them all up there. When they hatch, we can shear them. Now, I have no way of restocking this with Drecos when the time comes. That's a bit of an annoyance, but we can automate all of that later. For the time being, it'll just have to stay as it is. Now, is there any others? Yeah, there's no others left. Get rid of that. Dreco egg will lie out there and hatch. Perfect. That is going to be plastic solved. Well, eventually, once the Drecos get in there, once they start producing plastic hatches, which will be a while. But I wanted to get that started now because it will take a long time for that all to get done. And when we're at it, we can now get rid of this water. I'm thinking we're going to pump the rest of this water over to this tank. Oh, wait, no. Power. That was it. Well, it turns out I actually had a third Dreco on the map. So we're going to dump them all up here first, give them a wee bit of a shearing, and then send them on their way. In the meantime, though, we need to put in a power station. I don't want to be running on this... these generators for too long. It's just we have so little resources to work with, or so little duplicate labor to work with. I'd rather just switch over to coal now. We have 80-something tons of the stuff, and I'm thinking a couple of coal generators. That's maybe a bit too low down here. We might put them over the water tank and then a carbon skimmer with them. Though I'm thinking we put the power supply here. It'll dump its CO2 into this pit where, well, the oxyferns will get it, or we'll have our carbon skimmer down here as well. That should give us plenty of storage water down here. There's well over 72 tiles of space down here. If we check it's how many tiles wide? So 34, that'll be 68 tiles plus, yeah, there's plenty to keep our water tank full. Now that does mean though we have to move the toilets and sinks, which is fine. I was going to have to do that anyway. It's just we'll have to do it now, and I need to find somewhere more permanent for them. I'm thinking right here is perfect. We will make a tiny little toilet and sink setup. But first we're going to change the schedules. Everyone's going on to their own individual schedule. I can't move them all just yet because I don't want to mess with... Well, some of them are about to come into their downtime, you know, things like that. I don't want to mess with them and change that. But once they come around to the next morning, I'm going to switch them over to their new schedules. And we're only going to install a single toilet and sink. We are going very small scale on this. That is the whole plan. Oh, and we can get rid of all of that. Oh, wait. No, I don't want that water leaking out just yet. You know what? We'll finish the mopping, then we'll do that. So, how small is our bathroom going to be? Well, we've got to make it quite tiny because we don't want to waste space. So we're going to need a sink by the exit, and then for the plumbing, we're definitely going to need a lavatory, and that will be it. That's going to be the full extent of it. And you know what? We're probably going to have to stick in airflow tiles everywhere to make sure people don't suffocate. Also, I'm going to have to shorten that other floor over there. All right, well, if that's going to be the toilet, then we're going to need to put in... Well, we're going to definitely want to recycle our water here. So that means we're going to need to get in a water sieve behind this also. So we're going to need a little bit more space behind this toilet. Wait. I don't have filtration medium. I can't filter the polluted water just yet. Oh, Ooh, that's interesting. That means the clean water I start with is all I can use for those toilets, which will cut down on my labor, but will eat into my clean water, and the clean water I need for that. So I need to get filtration medium before I can start using this polluted water to oxygenate my base. And to get filtration medium, I need regolith, and a regolith's 300 degrees, which means I need to cool it down. I also need access to the vacuum of space. This is going to get really interesting, isn't it? Okay, fine, fine. We will just have to plummet for now, and then we will just dump the polluted water back into our polluted water tank. It's going to be germy polluted water, but we don't care. Our polluted water is already germy, and our clean water is already germy. I may have accidentally... Well, I set this to clean water, but when we discovered polluted water, it automatically became ticked, and it dumped all the polluted water from here and there. Yeah, this game is wonderful that way. But I am going to still allow the clean water up here to go straight into my toilets. Why not? All right, that will be the toilets done, which means we can demolish these down here and finally put in our power supply. Okay, my brain already hurts trying to work around all the problems we're going to have with this. Oh, please tell me that's sand. You know, now I would love some sand. I think we got to take the fertilizer. I'm pretty sure we have salt vines already, so not really caring about the curative tablets. The dupes can walk it off. Fertilizer it is. Just please tell me we do have those salt vines. Yep, we do have 7 salt vines, so it's fine. We can use those if we do ever end up running into a bleach problem. Or, yeah, chlorine problem, which I really doubt. Oh, missing a block. Okay. Let's skip this forward a bit while the toilets get finished. Then we'll rip out the old toilets and start putting in our power supply. All right, our new toilets are ready, which means, well, yeah, we could disable our old ones or get rid of them. Perfect. They'll only wash their hands going out, and that's all assigned to them. Let's destroy our old toilets, shall we? Ugh. Oh, which reminds me, I should probably make sure they've all got decent schedules. Yeah, I'm going to move them around a bit. Right, they all have their own schedule all to themselves, which means they should all use the bathrooms one after the other. Oh, first time I'm going to have tried this. That's the smallest bathroom I've ever had in any game. Right, with that done, that leaves us with what? Oh yes, power. Power, power, power. We're going to get this done down here right now. And this shall be in our new power system. Couple of coal generators, smart battery, automation wire, and our power transformer over here. Once that's up and running, our power needs should be sorted, which reminds me I've got to skill scrub someone, but not until this is done. Then we'll have the spare power to go around. And how do I have so many shine bugs? Did I start grooming shine bugs, or did 3 wild eggs just hatch? Never mind, never mind. How did you do that? Kara, get out of there. Silly Billy. We're going to set our smart battery to 9060. That should hopefully stop the coal generators going too crazy. We're going to set our coal generators to 100% here, just to make sure they definitely get fueled. And I think we'll put down a little storage bin here, just to make sure that we can store some coal nearby. And once that's done, we can disable that manual generator for a while. With power up and running, there is a few minor projects we have to take care of in the background. One is freeing up all this space. That's going to require moving all of that water out of there. And unfortunately, I can't just dump it down in there, so I'm going to have to pump it the old-fashioned way. That means a little bit of a plumbing project. There we go. All of the water will get pumped across here and dumped into our clean water storage tank, which is, still full of germs, but it's clean and not polluted. At the same time, I have queued up some sand to sandstone. Or sandstone to sand. I finally remembered you can just smash up rocks for sand. Smart idea. Yeah, so we can make filtration medium. We will not run out of... we can at least convert the polluted water. But we don't want to do that too much. Sandstone, all the rocks are non-renewable. Only the regolith is renewable. And once we get a ladder up there, we can strip off all the regolith across the top. So there's plenty of regolith up there to get. We just need, Atmos suits, oxygen supply, airlocks, all the usual things. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh, and it was pointed out in the comments, a couple of the more eagle-eyed viewers noticed that there is an oil reservoir down here, so oil is possible. Well, once we get rid of the magma and the wolframite and the diamond and all the stuff that's on top of it, we definitely have access to oil. But to take care of all of that heat, you're going to need a steam turbine, so you're still going to need plastic before you get to the oil. It's an interesting way of playing the game. Slowly but surely that will free up that part of the map for us. How are we doing on algae? 31 tons. We still got plenty of algae. Though polluted oxygen is annoying me. It's not actually bad for my dupes. It doesn't increase their stress even or do anything, it seems. But I would prefer if we didn't have to deal with it. And yeah, there's too many chores for them all going on at the moment. I need to let them catch up with everything that's going on. So let's let them catch up with all their chores, shall we? Well, right after we check out what's in the printing pod. Who doesn't like prezzies? Oh, those would be nice. Oh, they would be really nice. And all the rest I don't care about. Ah, Slicksters. Slicksters would be absolutely amazing right now. The only problem with these Slicksters is I can't support them. I don't have the temperature. There's no temperatures around here warm enough to keep them alive. Yep, they're just gonna... actually, it's getting warmer over here. How is our hydrogen front looking? We've almost filled this up. Once we get the hydrogen down to about here, then we can just leave the Drecos in there and they should keep, well, regenerating their scales and we won't have to... We can turn that off effectively. But yes, what was it? Oh, yes, Slicksters. So I've got a really good idea for those Slicksters that would come in really handy for us. Where is the egg cracker? Yes, beautiful. We can get some nice tasty omelets out of those. Just what the doctor ordered. Tasty, tasty larva eggs. Well, that will give us some omelets we can possibly make, which will definitely help us on the calorie front because for some reason I'm running out despite having way more calories than I actually need. What is going on? Who is consuming my calories? Is someone sneaking it or are they just really bad about getting the calories to the cooking area? What's going on? No one's getting starvation though. Do I need more mealwood? You need 5 per person. How many have we got? We have 25. Yes, I have exactly as many as I need, which is bad. We need to add in a few more of those, don't we? Damn it, I wanted to move my farms. You know what? We can put the farms here, right beside the old... Right beside our Dreco ranch. That's perfectly fine. The Drecos won't care at all. We'll just put in one right there. Though I'll have to move that all up one tile as well. And I'm sure the hatches won't mind that either. Yes, well, at least these larva eggs will tide us over in the interim and we can throw together some fresh omelets for ourselves. Oh, no need to get angry. I remembered to give all of my duplicants hats. They now all have hats. It's fine. Their hats have been assigned out. Natural gas? What? Is that 1,000 kilos of natural gas? I mean, I'm not going to say no. I'm really curious. Like, that's 1,000 kilos of natural gas. Well, that's going to be our power issue solved for a while. Holy... Oh, there's some suggestions that I take this hydrogen vent and open it up so I can use it for a hydrogen generator. It does generate 500 Cs. It's 500 degrees. Now, on a larger map, you might not care as much, but on one this small, this is going to get warm. This whole rock is going to get warm, and until I get cooling in, I have no intention of introducing more heat than I have to. The only reason I'm putting this over here and introducing this much heat is so that I can get hydrogen up there. And the only reason I'm getting the hydrogen up there is so I can get plastic so I can get cooling. I'm introducing heat to get cooling. That's the only reason, though. That mealwood's eventually going to overheat. I'll have to keep an eye on that. But once the hydrogen there is full, we'll turn that off and we should be good to go. Now, what was the next step? Oh yes, finish demolishing the map. I can now excavate out this top part. I should probably point out, most of this is still temporary. Even this over here, we're eventually going to have to open that area up so we can launch rockets or use telescopes and things like that. This is just trying to get to sustainability as quickly as possible and then probably redesigning everything to fit in a more compact way. I mean, I'm thinking if we've got an oil reservoir down here, it might be possible to do... I wonder if it's possible to do a sour gas boiler on a map this small without taking up too much space. Though we'd probably need some space materials. Nope. We'll worry about all that later. For now, we'll clean that up, and then we're going to put in... Oh, yeah, we better put in our dining hall. I want to put in a slightly better dining hall facility right about there. Wait a minute, just cancel that for now. Yeah, once we've got that done, dining hall facility goes in. Dining hall facility after that... Oh, bedrooms. Move the bedrooms around as well. We want to compactify everything, and we're going to stick with 5 dupes and probably max out about 8 to 10. A great hall has to be 32 tiles in size, according to this. So we need to have this as a minimum 32 tiles. I've never thought I'd be designing my hall for the minimum size instead of the maximum. Then I want to leave room for about 8 of them, and you know what? I think we have already acquired planter pots if I check our research. We're currently doing automation at the moment. Shipping and all that. Yeah, we've definitely got planter pots, so we can turn this into a great hole and gain ourselves a little bit of a morale bonus. Oh, you'll notice we have access to fire poles and we're not using them, namely because the map is so small. Movement bonus is not really that big of a deal right now. There we go, our new mess hall. It will support 6, we can upgrade it up to 8, and, well, we can always extend it a little bit further on if we need to. Oh, though we might want to put in some sort of potted plant, yes. Potted plant, throw that in there and make it a great hall while we're at it. And that should be our great hall up and running. Mess hall. Mess hall? Why is it not a great hall? Oh, the plant is still a little bit stifled. There we go. Let's disable this building immediately, the water cooler. It's just one of those tricks. We'll still get the room bonus, but I have a bunch of germy water down here. I don't want to give all my dupes food poisoning just yet. Maybe later. Over here, we have good news. Plastic or glossy Drecklet egg. So we're going to sweep it in there, drop it off. Automation later. I'm actually researching the automation to take care of that, though I don't think I'll be able to get a mechatronics engineer fast enough to take advantage of it anytime soon. But we're going to sweep that in there. All right, dining hall has been moved. Now we'll just move the bedrooms up here. That will free up, well, quite a huge chunk of space. What do we got on the blueprint front today? Ooh, fry eggs. They're always free food. More algae. We don't care about it. Rust? No, thank you. I'm going to have to go with the fry eggs. It's the only way. They have to happen. Then we just got to dump them into the water. I'm thinking simple storage container. Sweep command. Problem solved. To deal with all of the critters. Well, the fry eggs are down there now. I'm setting up this little sweep container over here. This is set to drop off hatchlings, pip eggs, pufflets, pufflet princes, and shine nymph eggs. So if I find those eggs lying around the place on the ground, we'll just dump them down here, and that should hopefully keep them all sort of contained over in this area, out of the way. As well as that, they're out in the open, so they shouldn't get cramped or anything like that. And they shouldn't be messing with any of my seeds or accidentally fall into water pools and die when I dig stuff up. At the same time, I've cancelled all those eggs that were going in there, and now I'm thinking metal refinement. We need to start on that, so I'm going to get a metal refinery. I cancelled solid transport. I can't even use that yet because I don't have the ability, but we can use a metal refinery, which has got me thinking, where do we dump the heat? Well, probably into our water supply, though how much do we want to dump? At the same time, I thought of a similar thing. We probably want to stockpile some food. The reason being, if the temperature does get too warm in here, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a buffer to tide us over. So I'm thinking we might be able to kill two birds with one stone and use plants to absorb heated water. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to try and use bristle blossoms to destroy a bunch of heated water. Yes, this should be interesting and can in no way possibly go wrong. But first this whole map's got to go. Like all of that natural terrain, it all has to go. Once I've managed to satisfy my demolition of the environment, we'll then get on to a little bit of metal refinement. We'll be going straight for steel. We need 1,200 kilos of steel if we're going to, well, be all right when our plastic comes along, which will be 12%. A long time from now. Well, this is going to... I keep forgetting how long it takes to get plastic using Drecos. Thankfully, I did that on the last map. Starting to look cleaner already. Now, ooh. Yeah, I'm taking the Pacu. That's too much free food. You can't turn that down. Though, how do we get them into a tank? I want to get them into here. Maybe there? No, probably into here. Let me do a bit of thinking here for a second. All right, if we have done this correctly, the Pacu should try and hop over the side and end up down here. Maybe they will. If they don't, well... Pacu fillets, anyone? Okay, come join us. See if you like this polluted water tank we have designed for you. Are you? Oh, would you look at that? Come on. Oh, come on. You couldn't plan... Well, okay, you could have planned that. No, we've planned that perfectly. You couldn't have planned that any better. That was the best plan. Okay, so we've got a polluted water tank here. Any more Pacu can definitely go in there for more free food for us, which reminds me I got to put in a cooking station again. I demolished everything to make room. I think I'm going... Wait, let me rephrase that. I'm demolishing everything, changing everything over to 3-tile high floors, except we need at least one floor for the industrial section. So refinement-wise, I need to put in a rock granulator down here. We still need, it needs to be 3 tiles high, or is it 4? Yeah, 4 tiles high, so we can put in, the supercomputer and the rock crusher and all that. And since the gateway is already 4 tiles high, this is going to be the 4-tile high floor, which means we'll have some 1-2-tile high floor, which I'm thinking of dedicating to farming. Yeah, but let me just finish off the last of this demolition. While all this has been going on, slowly but surely in the background, I've been going through all the research. And honestly, once I got metal refinement there, I've sort of just been doing it from a top-to-bottom approach where I just look at these things and decide if any of them are worth having anytime soon. For example, we don't need food reprocessing, gourmet meal prep, none of this fossil fuel stuff. So I could get a natural gas generator up now. I'm not really in a rush. None of these I can even use without certain things. All of these, no. So I just keep going down until I find something that's actually worth getting, which is probably the tea stations. I should get tea stations, but we don't have any way of actually stocking up with pepper nuts. So, so the next thing we'll be getting will be gas reservoirs, radiant gas pipes. All of these we're going to need once we start getting into electrolyzing. So, or maybe not. I think we might use an open plan electrolyzer. Considering how tiny the map is, an open plan electrolyzer might just be the smallest one we can make. Anyway, just a little bit more demolition. So most of the demolition is complete. Quick thing we want to throw in is some increased food storage. Right now we're starting to stockpile meal lice, so what I'd like to do is turn a bunch of that into pickled meal, and then we can preserve some of that up here. The great thing about pickled meal is it doesn't go off, so we can store it up here for now in some unpowered fridges, and once it's full of CO2 we won't have to worry, and then we can start adding in more foods there. It just keeps our food supply right beside our dining hall. So yes, like I said, we're probably going to have to redesign everything again at some point just to compress it down even more. So I think we're doing pretty good, considering this is like our toilets, sinks, everything, dining room, bathrooms, sleeping room area, everything. Also, the doors there are set to one way, just in case people are worried. They can only get in one way. It just cuts down on them possibly getting their hands dirty and walking out the other side. Meal lice is now being stored here right beside our Great Hall. And because of that, that should cut down a little bit on the transport times, though. Yes, food will still have to be transported from down here. The reason I put the cooking area down here is it's near to the carbon dioxide pit where we're going to be keeping most of our food anyway. Maybe we can move that around later, but for now, let's see what prezzies we've got. More critters? Well, 1 or 2. You know what? We'll take the 2. A couple of pip eggs. They can't hurt. We'll just, I think they're already set to be swept over there. Let's sweep ourselves some pip eggs, shall we? Right. Once the now I'm going to put a carbon skimmer down here. The carbon dioxide is starting to get a little bit out of control, but I don't want to put it too close to here. This is our food storage pit, so if this was to run out of carbon dioxide, our food would encounter problems. So I'm putting it a little bit high up and offset from the floors, just a tiny bit. But that should stop the carbon dioxide from getting out of control. If it becomes too much of a problem or we're draining too much of it and there's not enough left over for our ration box, I'll have to do something about that. So it's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Now, next up, metal refinement. Now, I don't think we've got enough time in this video to do it, but let's just throw one together and have a quick look at something. The plan. It's relatively straightforward. To make, say, iron to steel here, we will be using clean water. Well, regular water. It's got germs in it, but it's clean, germy water. It will add 56 degrees of temperature to it, unfortunately. So that's 50, 60, 70, 81 degrees. That water will be coming in at 81C. And normally what I would do is I would just dump it into a big water tank and, it'd even add about 40 or something degrees. But this time I thought we'd try something different. What if we just grabbed this and we dumped it straight into plants? We can put down some hydroponics tiles, and if we spread out the water between them all, how much water is it actually? I think it's 400 kilos per load. We could probably dump all of that hot water just right into the plants. The plants should instantly consume it, and then we shouldn't have to deal with it. Now, to do that, we're going to need to use bristle blossoms. They're the only things that consume clean water. We could also do it with polluted water and dump it into reed fiber, though I don't need that much reed fiber. We've already got, how much reed fiber have we got going? 11. Yeah, we got 11 reed fiber already. I think we will be fine on that front. Oh, did these guys drop another egg? No, they have not yet, but one of them is starving to death. How? How did that happen? That would mean this one, which is full of calories, has been getting to the food every time. Every time this has grown just enough to be nibbled on, one of them has been swooping in and stealing it. You monster. He's gonna let his poor brother starve. Oh, over here I'm also throwing in a bunch of extra liquid storage tanks. They're temporary as well, but that's just in case I don't want my sewage backing up. Once this tank fills, and we have, well, enough water to tide us through the dormancy period, which should be getting close to, not that close, 26 cycles to go. Maybe I should start pumping more of this into storage tanks. Give us more options. For the time being, yeah, we've got actually a pretty open base. It might be an idea to start pumping a bunch of this excess into storage. Our pack are doing wild, happy, and plenty of space. Well, good for you guys. Well, I think we're going to cut this out here. Tomorrow will be, or the next episode will be trying to use this with bristle blossoms to destroy a bunch of heat as we try and make enough steel to make an aqua tuner to go with the plastic we should hopefully be harvesting from up here. Oh, and I've turned off the electrolyzer. We have plenty of hydrogen up there, so the scale growth should be fine. This one is unfortunately a wild one, so its scale growth won't be perfect, but the ones we've got coming along will definitely give us far more plastic and reed fiber than we're ever going to be able to use in a reasonable amount of time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our trip through Baby Base, and good luck.